go then. This is Jester from pole, Hypers alongside. Will it be like that at the end of lap 1? At the end of 36 laps? Who will it be? The 5 red lights are now starting to appear, and its lights are off and we are underway, and it's a bit of a wheel spin, it looked like, for Jester, but Hyper's got a slower start, and Colden has had an excellent start in third, but Hyper's covers him off and Jester comfortably leads down to turn 1. There's a few free wide action moments down at the exit of turn 1. Here comes Colden in the slipstream, and they're almost free wide, Mercedes and AlphaTauri and the Williams. And as I think that's Colden going slowly, and he kind of parks the bus. They're free wide on the exit, and there's a lot of damage back here, and they're all over the place. Mercedes comes back on track very dangerously of Neelix. They're free wide here as Scott Laney's made an excellent start.
He's missing an M plate though, but Scott Laney.
Scott, oh my word, it's almost 4 wide going through there. Free wide on the exit. There's that Cosmic Cameron trying to squeeze around the outside, and he's really struggling. Scott Laney, as the damage is hurting him, and I must have got that down at turn 3.
Yes, rightly. The big loser out of all that smacked into the back of them.
Oh, there's a spin up.
Mercedes.
Oh, Scott's out. Scott's out. He's been collected by someone. Charlie, by the looks of it. And he's just stricken on the track, and I think it's a VSC. But yeah, carry on.
Yeah, Sprightly lost his whole front wing near enough. Hit the back of, I think, Neelix at turn 3. A few guys also with damage here and there, and there was a couple of little incidents towards the back, but overall not terrible. I'm sure it could have been a lot worse. I mean, Lemon's made up 3 positions off the start. Does already have a penalty, mind you, but considering he's not actually touched the track for an hour and a half, it's not terribly bad going from the Racing Point driver to have made up a few positions already.
Well, the fast starting Maxwell once again has made up 4 positions on the opening lap. And yeah, the other McLaren was looking racy as well, and he is continuing to look racy. Russell on the back of Maxwell at the moment, pushing for him all his worth, and Scott Laney is falling once again as Demons appears ahead of Scott Laney, and he's up into P11, and Maxwell goes a little bit wide through the penultimate corner, and Russell's going to get right up to the rear end, and he's going to go for a move soon, as Neelix is now ahead of Scott Laney, and I wonder if it's going to be time to go in the pits for Laney soon, as Grumpy Orange is ahead of a Flying Lemon, and a Flying Lemon I think has had an off down at the final corner, but he's still going at the moment.
Dolphin
It's going to get interesting.
The pair of them.
My word.
We've had one already, 3 wide moment.
Well, somehow they all get through, but there's a lot of cars swarming, and here comes Cameron. Oh, he's going left and right, and they're all darting all over the place, and I don't really know which way to look. The cameras are awful at the moment, and somehow Maxwell is still ahead.
Yeah, Russell's on the grass cars there. I think he got an illegal overtake penalty. Did Russell just then? 5 second penalty for corner cutting and gaining a position. So I think he was trying to let someone back through, and then kind of ended up with a bit of a concertina effect. Yeah, look at that, the top 5 are just in a world of their own compared to the rest of these guys after their squabbling a few moments ago.
Yeah, this is intense at the moment for Maxwell, for sure. I mean, they're all over the place behind him as Cowan gets all out of shape coming out of turn 1. Hypers is pushing Jester up into turn 3, but Dolphin is finally going to get his man, it seems. Russell late on the brakes. He's going to try and launch himself right round the outside as Russell, and I think he's made the move done. And Maxwell does have damage, but that was a very nice move from Russell. And Maxwell does have the DRS. Does he have enough pace to get alongside? Russell's going to dive down the inside and almost takes Dolphin out. Dolphin can try and push up to the front pack as Jester leads from Hypers in second, Colden in third. Then comes Gareth and Dodgy.
Yeah, Cameron with a missing M plate as well, just picking up a time penalty, probably largely as a result of that. Of course, the reduced downforce will, especially with the dirty air from the cars ahead, will mean that he's going to be really struggling with oversteer or understeer. Sorry. Yeah, it's kind of pretty close in this midfield battle, as it looks as though.
It seems like Freeman said it's Cameron. I think I've done a fat Croftly there and got the wrong car, but
yeah. It looks as though the Renaults are starting to pull away from Colton, so I don't know whether he's made a mistake there, Max. But the gap was only 4/10 just a few moments ago, and it's almost up to a second now.
Yeah, here comes Russell in the slipstream. DRS, no ERS, or barely available, and Dolphin's got about 50%, just under that. But yeah, like you say, the gap is 1 second, and he's going to start to come under pressure unless he can find some grip, find some pace in that Mercedes, and he seems to recovered it a little bit. But Jester is comfortably clear at the moment, but still, the DRS is available for Hypers, as Sprightly is now lapped already, and it's only lap 6 of the Grand Prix so far. Yellow flag, and that is a Mercedes of Neelix. He is off, and he is spun, possibly spun. He's had an incident. Can I get back up to the front, please? As Hypers is very close, and Colden is definitely struggling. He broke very early, did Colden, on the opening lap, and that caused a concertina effect behind, really. Yeah, I think that made Dodgy get on the back foot a little bit. But yeah, Russell is very close actually, and he's along the inside, and he's going to force Dolphin to the outside. Russell is still there, and they're going to go side by side. Oh, he cuts underneath him, does Russell, and this is going to be very close, side by side still, wheel to wheel. And who's going to come out ahead? It seems to be Russell at the moment, as they come down towards the penultimate corner. That is a horrible camera angle game. And Russell right on the outside, but he's going to go off the track. Oh my word, and almost takes out Cameron. And I thought that was going to be a repeat of F2 once again.
Yeah, just been watching the battle at the front, Mercs. It seems as though the two Renaults were having a little bit of a go at one another.
Here comes Dodgy Ham.
As Danny inside he goes on not one but two cars.
And I think Colden is
in the process as well.
Yeah, I went backwards a bit there, but Russell has made the move stick, and Dolphin and Cameron are going to go side by side. It was a big lunge from Dodgy, and I think Colden, couldn't really do much, apart from, remove himself from that situation.
Yeah.
Unfortunate for Colden.
Oh,
really.
We got a car in the gravel.
Who's that?
That is Hypers.
That's Hypers off. Hypers is off.
What has gone on there?
Don't know. I think he's just lost it somewhere through the left hand, first or left hand, possibly gone a bit wide.
I was about to say
the
Renaults, after having a little bit of a squabble the lap prior, then got a massive helping hand with the battling going on behind them. But of course, now this mistake from Hypers has put him on the back foot, and it's kind of tactically definitely going to hurt them later on, because they have both the cars right at the front, and they could have done whatever they wanted with the strategy. Now it's kind of down to Jester to fly the flag out front on his own, as he's already looking to make amends with Hypers.
Yeah, so no damage, just damage to where he was on the track, and that moves him up into P4, and he's going to set his sights once again on trying to close the gap and try and rectify his mistake in the middle sector on the previous lap. There's still a long way to go. It's going to be fast paced, but as long as you're in it to win it, he can still make some impact on the finishing result of this race. Gareth is right on the back of Dodgy at the moment. He's going to go for a move down into turn 1. You don't see this too often. The side by side through turn 1, giving each other respect, and Gareth makes his way up into second place. So I don't think either of these guys have DRS actually, so Dodgy's going to have a dart back down the inside. He was late on the brakes before. He's late on the brakes once again, And Gareth locks up and Dodgy's up the inside. And I think Dodgy's going to take the DRS as well, being behind in the detection zone. And Dodgy's going to pull alongside, and he's going to be on the inside for turn 4. And is he going to be ahead? Gareth's going to try around the outside, but it's going to be very hard to make that move. And Hypers is ready to pounce behind in P4, as Crafty will be loving this. As Cameron makes a move up into P6, or does he? Side by side into turn 6. And Russell shows him the door and says, "You're not coming through." And yeah, there's fighting a lot. Oh my word, Dolphin's off the track and in the gravel. He's going to come back on the track. This is not going to end well. Hopefully he gets out of the way. And he is come back on the track. He's going to be very slow and hopefully people avoid him. But that is a big shame for Alpha Tauri. As one of their drivers is already out. And the other driver in the gravel.
Yeah, real shame as well. With their excellent qualifying as a duo, it's all seemingly come undone rather prematurely for them. Hyper smells blood. Yeah. Gareth defenceless, really, despite having DRS from Dodgy. The Hyper slides back on through, but it's on the grass on the exit. He's already got a couple of time penalties as well, that's as Hypers. So he seems to be struggling a bit of understeer through this middle sector. He seems to go wide again there on the curb. So I wonder if Hyper's, it doesn't look like he's got any damage, so maybe it's down to the setup that he's running. It's meaning that he's just not able to really follow the car ahead terribly well through the middle sector.
Yeah, Gareth is struggling as well, as he's run very wide through on the exit of the penultimate corner, and Hypers is going to have a dart down the inside here into turn 1. Late on the brakes. Oh, he goes tentative though, and lets Gareth go, and he's going to have to stick behind for now. But here comes Colden back into the fray, and Jester's clear, but Dodgy, if he keeps clean laps, is definitely going to catch him, and he has caught him a little bit. Little by little is Dodgy catching Jester, but you could say Dodgy kind of was a bit ambitious to get himself into that position, but he is there, and he is there for now. This battle behind between Cameron and Russell is absolutely raging on, and yeah, like all I can do is just watch when they're behind them, because there's no way past the pair of them at the moment. And even with wing damage, Cameron is seemingly faster, or able to stay in the DRS zone, as Cowan gets out of shape behind, and that's a car off in the background, or in sector 2, and that is Lofty, and he may have damage to the front right end plate, and he's off the track as well, and he is struggling with some damage. Well, it's big damage to the front right, and yeah, he's going to have to struggle back to the pits, as I think Russell has made his way into the pits.
Yeah, a bit of an early stop considering we have the lobby restart, which will of course given everyone fresh tyres. I'd imagine he's going to be going on to the hards.
He is.
Yeah, because I don't think the mediums will quite be able to go to the end from here. Demons just got past Maxwell on the last lap. So on his hard compound tyres, he's making pretty nice progress up through the field. We've got the Red Bull duo. They've been in tandem for a little while now.
Gone off again, sorry.
As Hypers is, yeah, just seems to be really struggling, doesn't he? Hypers?
Oh, side by side ahead. Gareth is putting Dodgy under pressure, and they don't. Well, I feel like they need to work together here. To be honest, as Neelix has been lapped. He's not for position. Neelix has been lapped, and he is behind Jester at the moment. Gareth gets all out of shape, and is that going to allow Hypers? I think it is. He's gaining, and Hypers has got a lot of ERS. He saved it, and here comes Gareth though ahead.
Oh.
Don't make this 3 wide, please. There's a Dodgy late on the brakes. Gareth with a little hop and the jump, a little hit up the back. Cowan goes late on the brakes. It's off the track. Go back on board with Hypers. Is he going to go for the move round the outside? It's going to be very tough, but he's going to try it. He's going to try and go around the outside, but there's just not a lot of space to do that move. and he's going to look to the inside, but it's not enough. Cal went for a move on Cameron, but it didn't pay off as he went too deep into that corner. And yeah, Russell, early stopper here in this race, and there's another stopper, and that is Hypers.
Yeah, I think he needs to do something in order to try and get some clean air, because by the looks of things, that's kind of what the Renault seems to be wired into, is clean air running as Colden gets a 5-second penalty speed into the pit lane. Yeah, Gareth defended well though from Hypers, put his car kind of where he needed to in the middle of the track. Didn't really give him an opportunity to go round the outside. And yeah, it's kind of cutting out the mistakes for these guys towards the front, I think. I mean, Gareth has obviously got some really strong pace, but it's a couple of times now just running a bit wide, losing some time, and it's put him on the back foot from Hypers. So yeah, he's gone for the undercut, pitted onto the mediums, perhaps a little bit earlier than he would have liked to, but I think he's had his hand forced a little bit, considering the situation he's found himself in.
Yeah, as Jester just picked up a time penalty. I'm not getting them coming up on my screen, but I did see it just come open, as I think that is Dodgy into the pits. So this is going to be a bit close. Oh my word,
Whoa.
Dodgy's trying to take the normal pit route,
Yeah.
as I've seen most people do, and that has lost him a heap of time.
Dodgy took the racing line, and Gareth took the pit energy line, and they cut across one another, crossed paths. I was worried for a second.
Synchronised.
Yeah, I was worried for a second they were going to have a huge coming together, because if they'd made contact there, that would have been curtains for the pair of them, I think.
It would have been curtains indeed. Russell on the hards is struggling at the moment. He didn't really undercut Cowan that well, and he has undercut Cameron, however, but I'm pretty sure he just had a wing change. And it looks like Colden and Dodgy side by side. Dodgy's had a poor, oh my word, that is a huge lunge down the inside, and that is just forced the racing point out of the way, who needs to get out of the way anyway, because they elapsed. So yeah, that was interesting. Hypers and Scott Laney side by side, and Scott Laney is ahead for now. Hasn't stopped yet, has the Red Bull driver, and he brakes very early on the inside, but has wing damage and made contact, and Hypers is off, and Scott Laney is off, and is understeered into the side of Hypers and Scott Laney, and those two are in the gravel. And Hypers has had an off before, but this was through no fault of his own, and he is really at the moment out of contention for the race win as he was before, and that is a disaster for the Renault driver.
It's a shame Gareth's come into the pits just now. Pretty cautious pit entry, it has to be said. He slowed it down way too early, but I guess better safe than sorry in this situation. I just like to point out, UK Demons, currently in a P2, started on the hard compound tyres, and it's actually less than 8 seconds off of the lead. And now this is something, I believe the last Division 3 race I commentated on, in fact, was round Austria. And I believe it was fairly similar circumstances to Mertz, where we had rain towards the end of the race. A race which I think was won by Lewis, who started on the hards, stayed out till the rain, hit it to the inters, and won the race. So could we see something similar from UK Demons here tonight?
Yeah, we could. Just the pits. Sprightly is out of this race, and he was already a lap down, and yeah, didn't go well for him at all. So we'll see where Jester comes out in comparison, but Dodgy has been battling quite hard, so I believe Jester will be comfortably clear, and he's got a car in between and a lapped car as well, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that the third Paul, I think?
No, it's not.
In P3.
It's just Paul. There was too many cars. I was counting too much sort of phantom car, clearly. So there you go. My eyes deceive me. A couple of side-by-side actions going on behind, as Maxwell has had an off and taken the long route on the exit turn 3, and he's going to go side-by-side with his teammate for today, and he has to settle in for P11, just coming out of the pits.
Yeah, it seems as though it's not the first time Maxwell has been a little bit deep at turn
Oh, Scott Laney's been
3.
involved in another incident.
Oh,
And this time it's not through any fault of his own. He hit the side, the rear of Hypers, and now he's been hit by the McLaren of Cameron, I think it was, as he went for a move. Hypers has made a move on Maxwell, as I think Dodgy is now making a move ahead of Deadpool, and that is crucial for his race. But yeah, like you said, Demons over 10 seconds clear. We believe there's going to be rain coming, and these hards will go a long way if you want them to. So we will see.
yeah, I'm sure Hypers might have had a few choice words perhaps Delaney as went past. I didn't actually see their incident, but I get the impression that you felt it was Scott Delaney that instigated that.
Yeah, he went round the outside of turn 6, and obviously, well, Laney had damage, and it seemed like he just plain understeered into his rear left tyre. Yeah, that's what it looked like from my vantage point.
Collision then, I suppose. We've got Rando trying to get him ahead in the chat, but just ain't happening, man. You know, come on, Rando, mate. Until you finish ahead of me, you can't be saying this, lad. Anyway,
yeah, I mean,
we've got a race.
Gareth is about to make a move on Deadpool. Well, it doesn't look like Paul's really wanting to give that pace up. I mean, it's not really his fight. But he's making Gareth go around the outside, and Gareth should have a better traction. Muscles his way past, and he's up into P4, and now he's got to set his sights on trying to catch Dodgy again.
Yeah,
Crafty with the pen is put himself under pressure, and at the moment, this fight between Dodgy and Gareth is for the lead.
Yeah, most definitely. It's going to be crucial, I think, for Gareth's race that he sticks with Dodgy. The gap to Jester with this undercut that Dodgy got has gone down by almost a second now. So yeah, that will definitely be something to keep a close eye out for as this race progresses. Of course, still a long way to go as we're not even 2/3 of the way through, as we've got Williams bringing out yellow flags in sector 2. But yeah, Gareth then just about within DRS range of Dodgy. And like I say, I think it's going to be crucial to his race to make sure that he does stick with the Alfa Romeo. He's got a lot of battery, has Gareth, so it might be worth thinking about using some of it to make sure that he can keep DRS to the car ahead.
Colden on the back of Paul, and we'll try and get past him soon. Paul gets all that shape on the exit, and will Colden deploy ERS? Doesn't have much. He's going to try and adjust the DRS, going to go for the outside late on the brakes, and you'll see them side by side as they exit the corner, and he should have the high ground going into the next left-hander, and he does, and that is a nice late braking manoeuvre from the Mercedes driver. He's up into the top 5, and he has a bit of a gap to Gareth, but he can start to close that in and hope that those drivers ahead pick up penalties.
Well, he's done it, Gareth. He's now right on the back of Dodgy, in fact. So he's done the immediate job that he needed to do, as Grunge is off yet again at turn 3, so he doesn't seem to be getting along terribly nicely with that corner this evening, as Russell just picks up a penalty there, but he's chugging along nicely in P6, up 5 from where he started. So yeah, he's having a nice race. That's 21:36. I wonder if we are going to see this rain. I don't know what the forecast was originally. Of course, with this lorry restart, they've had to put custom weather on. So whether that would have slightly altered when the rain was coming or not, we'll have to wait and see. But Demons will probably be starting to struggle a little bit on his hard compound tyres. I imagine he wouldn't really want to be doing much more than 25 laps on them. So I'm sure he'll be hoping for the rain to come sooner rather than later.
Yeah, well, this is one of the quicker races, of course. So if it does rain, it may need a safety car for it to really come into fruition. If it was going to come right at the end, because we know it'd be 45 minutes, but a race around Austria wouldn't necessarily last 45 minutes. It'd be close, but we'll wait and see. It might be a sketchy last couple of laps. We'll have to wait and see, but Demons is leading but has not stopped yet. And if it remains dry throughout, he will need to stop. Deadpool went onto the soft compound tyres, and Charlie has done the same, a Flying Lemon in the pits as well. And I believe he will do the same, but they are a long way back. Outside the points, that is a car off again. And it's Grumpy Orange. Once again, he's not having the greatest of times at all.
Yeah, so, as we say that, Demons is in the pits, so I wonder if the rain isn't going to be coming then. Otherwise, I'm not entirely sure why he would have pitted. He's in a pretty nice position anyway, probably going to go onto the softs to the end. So that will definitely be something to keep tabs on, see what his progress is like, as I'm sure he'll be hoping if he can to get out ahead of the Ferrari of SLR Russell, but doesn't quite, slots in just behind him though. So yeah, I think Demons has set him up pretty nicely here in that first stint to really push on.
Three wide. Oh, Cowan's going to go deep. 3 wide on the exit. This could get messy, but it doesn't. And yeah, clinical from Demons, did nothing wrong there. And hopefully he can stay ahead. Cowan's going to try around the outside of Russell, but brakes early and settles for it. Or does he? Hits the back of Russell, and that's wing damage. And that's going to allow Hypers to try and come back. And he's trying a lot this race, is Hypers, to get anything out of it. And he's going to go down the inside of the damaged Alfa Romeo. And Cameron's going to do exactly the same at the next corner. And he's off the track doing some off-roading, but somehow keeps the car going in one direction. So good save from Cameron, as Dodgy is almost within DRS range, but not yet. Just missed out on the detection point. As a Dodgy has a penalty anyway. I didn't clock that because I don't have anything coming up on the bottom of my screen. But yeah, Gareth is in the best seat in the house at the moment.
Demons pushing
other drivers.
I could see him maybe not winning this, but he could certainly become a factor when this race really gets down to the wire. I mean, Gareth obviously still in the pole position. Yeah, he did. Really good pace. Wasn't really losing much time to Jester at all. Of course, you'd say Gareth's still in pole position on without a penalty and currently in P3. As we've got Scott Lavering, who's brought out some yellow flags. No, it's third Paul's brought out some yellow flags in the middle sector. And that would really be exactly what Demons could do with right now. Would be a safety car. That put him in a brilliant position. As Grumpy Orange, I think, has gone for yet another spin.
More off-roading for the Williams driver. And yeah, it's not great. Gareth has a little poke down the inside, but he thinks better of it. And behind, Hypers is gaining once again. And this time, it's on the hard compound tyre runner of Russell, and he's kind of weaving this way and that. I think Hypers has gone full send, and full send too much. Come back on track. Russell says no. And ahead of us, Demons has made the move on Colden already. Will Hypers go late on the brakes? He won't. Russell goes late on the brakes, and I think he's paid for that. As Hypers just about avoids contact, and he has finally got his man, and he's up into P7. And Russell and Cameron are going to go hammer and tong once again, and they really haven't been separated, as there's some more off-roading from Grumpy Orange.
Yeah, I think Grumpy Orange might be best suited to a rally stage this evening, as he's unfortunately spent more time off the track than on it. By those things, obviously just struggling with this track a little bit. So yeah, which is a shame to see. Demons now about 6 seconds just over off of the lead, and there's 10 laps to go. So it's certainly not. It's not out of the question that he could still get the win here. Maybe on track, obviously with the penalties though. At the moment, it is still looking like it's advantage to Gareth.
is at the moment, and the top three are right on each other. As that is not Demons behind this trio. It is his teammate of Lofty, who's struggling at the moment. Russell has got ahead of Hypers. So I don't know if Hypers had a bit of an off somewhere. But that's not what I was expecting, as he's run wide again a little bit, and put Cameron on the back of him. It seems to be struggling at the moment. I mean, he has been off the track a lot, so his tyres are probably not that great. Yeah, he's got the fuel light on as well, so he is. He's making a big slice out of the final corner, and that's not going to help his run at all. And here comes Cameron for a run down into turn one. Is he going to go for it? He thinks better of it, and we'll look on back aboard the lead as we have a helicam, a nice helicam, as you can see those three in shot. But it's Jester who leads from Dodgy, and Gareth, who doesn't have a penalty at the moment. And as it was last season, Gareth is in position to take a victory once again here in Austria. It was his only victory last season. Can it be his first victory this season? But it's Maxwell who's ahead of Cowan at the moment. He is up into P9. It doesn't look likely that he'll get his 5th podium in a row, but points will be very nice for Maxwell if he can get them once again, and he'll continue his streak of in the points at the very least at the moment. As we're on to lap 28, and Jester still leads from Dodgy, and then Gareth and Demons. 3 seconds now is the gap.
Yeah, I'll tell you someone else having a really nice race, Matt, is Cameron in the McLaren. I said in qualifying, despite getting knocked out in Q1, that I felt he had some pace in the car, and he's obviously showing it here as he runs a little bit wide out of turn one. But yeah, in the race he's got some really solid pace. Currently up 9 from where he started, and that's with a wing change as well, because he had, of course, a missing end plate for the whole of that first stint, so he's changed his front wing in the process and is still up in P8. So yeah, brilliant drive from him so far.
It is at the moment, and Demons has had a very solid race so far. He started 15th, I want to say, around there anyway. And yeah, we'll go for the position changes, and yeah, up 9 positions. So that means he started 13th, if my maths is correct. Yes. So there you go. But we'll go back on board with the guys at the front, and Jester is comfortably clear. He's always getting the better exit out of turn 1, and he's comfortably clear. And Dodgy just needs to, set himself up really for a little dart down into turn 3 possibly, if he can just get through turn 1. But he seems to be more under pressure from Gareth behind, and Demons now 2 seconds back from Gareth, and this race is now coming towards Demons as Hypers and Russell go at it once again, and forces him to the outside, rides the curb, does Hypers, and Cameron watches on side by side as Russell has the DRS, as Hypers does not. Can Russell stay ahead once more? Hyper's going to go very late on the brakes, right round the outside. Can he make it stick this time? Russell shows him the door, but he keeps his foot in, does Hypers. He has the inside line. Does he have the position? Still side by side. Russell tries to hold it around the outside, forces him out. Still forces him out, hits the back of him. I think there's wing damage for the Ferrari. He's off the track, and so is Cameron. Just slices the corner there, and that would lose him time. I think Hypers is finally and comfortably in P6.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit dicey, isn't it? Cameron going for the move. Should be fairly simple, you'd think. And there he goes.
Yeah, that was a bit frenetic, but Demons get past his teammate soon enough and will be in the DRS range. I think he has got past his teammate, I assume. I hope he's let him past. But yeah, I think this is going to get spicy now. Lap 30, and we've not got long to go now. And how far can Demons get himself up? He needs to gap Gareth really, or hope that Gareth gets a penalty. And Gareth, well, knows what he has to do to get the win, and that's not cut any corner, extend any corner. It's tough in a train, but he has it in his hands. Demons within the DRS now, but it's going to be very tough to overtake as everybody's got DRS. Behind Jester, up towards him. Colden 7.5 seconds back, and that is rising at the moment. So he's on his own really with Hyper 6 seconds back. Is Dodgy close enough now? He's gaining. He knows he's been late on the brakes before. And he's late at the brakes again. Gives Jester a little love tap to know he's there, but that is a very poor exit out of the corner, and Jester will stay ahead. Now on board with Demons. He's right in the slipstream. Doesn't have much ERS. Gareth has the slipstream on Dodgy, and Demons has to stay from behind. He's late on the brakes, but it's not gonna be enough as Dodgy is really struggling at the moment to stay close as Cameron is ahead of Hypers.
Hypers round, yeah, at time 3.
Hypers is off. Oh, he's off in the wall, and well, I think
Race
really
over.
he's not had the greatest of races as Hypers, and yeah, this is just one of those days where it just hasn't gone his way, and unfortunately he's not going to score any points tonight, and that's going to dent his championship hopes. Well, I say championship hopes of leading the championship still, but he could if Jester drops down a few more positions. Jester then still leads this quartet.
We've got we've got Demons obviously on the softs. It's kind of the stage he really needs to make the moves, I think, now before his tyres go off. Although having said that, there's one.
On exit.
Having said that, of course, these guys pit pretty early for the mediums, so they also aren't going to be in the best of conditions either. So it might be a fairly level playing field in terms of tyre conditions for these guys as we head into the closing stages of the race. So whereas sometimes, you know, you've got people on the hards towards the end of the race, which generally get better as they go along, the mediums tend to drop off. So Demons might not be in any worse a position on old softs as these guys are on the mediums.
A bit wide to Demons there. Took a slice out of that curb as well. As yeah, Demons has dropped back a bit, and Gareth is going to be right on the back of him. Gareth goes very deep into that corner, and Lofty behind on the softs is kind of just sitting there and hoping he was in this battle. But he is a lap down on all these cars ahead of him as this quartet continues, as we're on lap 33 of 36, and we are on board with SLR Jester, who is currently in the lead, but does have a penalty at least to his name. And yeah, Gareth in a good position. They were all at one point 0.601 separated from each other, so that was interesting to see on the timer screens. But Dodgy has had a poor exit through there, and he's going to lose DRS if he's not careful. And I'll go on board with Demons again. He struggled through here and he struggled through there again. He seems to just not be turning in, so I'm not sure if he's just that's a specific corner he's struggling with, but yeah, he's struggling with the turn in on the penultimate corner at the moment.
Yeah.
Lofty kind of just sitting there.
I think as Demon, sorry, was eyeing up Dodgy there. Yeah, I think Dodgy is in a not too bad position because he's still got the DRS from Jester. Jester could almost do with keeping Dodgy in his DRS as Russell's just been disqualified from the race for picking up too many penalties.
Well, there you go. I mean, yeah, it has bitten back. I don't even know. My English anymore has gone down the drain. I can't speak. It's too late for me. But as you said, he could afford to keep him there. As Demons is struggling so much with that penultimate corner. He's just turning in too late, and that's just allowing Gareth every time to have a little sniff back at him. And he weaves to the outside, but there's nothing offering there. He goes wide again. It seems like he's just turning in too late for these corners. He needs to keep his head down and go for it. But here we go then. Gareth having a little look. There's nothing offering there. Can he get the traction down out of the exit? Seems like he can. And Dodgy obviously doesn't have DRS. Grumpy Orange is disqualified as well. So, I mean, there you go. As Demon's down the inside, that's late on the brakes. Going to get it slowed down. He's going to be all on the curb. Dodgy loses it. We managed just to keep it all together and stays in P3. But Demon's up the inside, up into P2. And that was a very nice late braking move. And he is up into P2. Now he can go set his sights on Jester and try and pull away.
Yeah, this race is not over because Gareth is dropping back. Or is he? Because he's now just past Gareth. I thought past Gareth, past Dodgy. Yeah, Dodgy, who is going very slowly and is now into the pits.
He's pitting.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a puncture on the front right. Puncture on the front right for Dodgy. I wondered why he was going slowly. And that could spell danger for all these other drivers. I think the softs can go. We're on the final lap, so get your driver of the day votes in on the final lap. Gareth is 2.5 seconds behind Demons at the moment. Jester is in the lead currently, and I don't know how many penalties he's got, but he hopes he doesn't get a puncture himself. Last lap disaster for Dodgy as he drops back, and he's going to be in a battle for P5 at the moment with Maxwell, as Jester is still staying ahead, but does he have the grip? It's now gone overcast, so the rain was going to come, but it's not going to come today.
That's just
as there was no real stoppages.
Punch on
and that is
penultimate lap.
Pain. Visible pain. Can Gareth still get inside 3 seconds? It's touch and go, but it's going to be Jester to come round the final couple of corners. Deems is pushing him all the way. Who's going to get the exit out of the final corner? It's going to be Jester coming up towards the line.
A bit slow.
He wins for now. Is Gareth going to win?
He's done it.
He does just about by 1/10, just over a tenth of a second, as it was 1 season ago. SLR Gareth wins the Austrian Grand Prix in Division 3, and he has done it again, a no penalty masterclass. It is something about Austria for SLR Gareth.
Someone else without penalty just about to cross the line is Maxwell. P5, another solid result for him. Dodgy, really unlucky, comes home P6.
Paul Wedpens.
Dolphin up to 7th. So yeah, Gareth again seems to have a bit of a knack around here of pipping people to the win by a second, and there's the rain. By a second, sorry, there's the rain. Better late than never.
Yeah.
What could have been? What could have been had the rain arrived with a few laps to go? We will never know. But yeah, brilliant stuff there. Gareth just managing the race perfectly, avoiding a penalty. Well, and he reached the rewards come the finish.
Well, I think Jester had 50%, they were saying 50% ERS on the line. So I'm not sure what Jester was doing really, and not you deploying that ERS on the final lap, as I certainly would be doing to try and get ahead. And well, I think he's going to probably rue that mistake, as Jester, that could have been another second win of the season. But it's not to be afraid, and that is a bit of a mistake there from Jester if he did have the ERS in his pocket. But it doesn't matter to Gareth at all. He doesn't care. All he cares about is he's won once again here at Austria, and he takes his first victory of the season, and he's trying to haul his way back into championship contention. Jester will retake the championship lead, as he was 14 points behind. He's now 4 points ahead. Maxwell again in the top 5. Maxwell is on flying form. That is 70 points in the last 5 races for him, and he is flying once again. Demons rounds out the podium. It was close last season. It's close again.
I think he got driver of the day as well. I'm not entirely sure. We didn't seem to get too many votes, I don't think.
Either Gareth or Demons for me. I mean, well, Demons was flying. Just misses out in the end. And yeah, well, penalties were the name of the day. We thought that would happen. And well, it didn't. It didn't work out for the top 2 on track. But we'll get Jester and Demons into the party. Demons, I think that's his second podium. Or I have no idea. Third podium of the season. I've lost count at this point. I can't remember. He got one in Zandvoort. I do know that. I think I I'm chatting absolute rubbish at the moment, I think. But yeah, we'll get those guys in, and they are in. I was completely missed that. So they're all in.
Oh, they're in. Sorry.
I didn't even realise that. I didn't even get notifications. So there you go. Yeah, I usually do all the interviews, so I'll leave them all to you, Ham.
All right, territory. We will start then with third place this evening, which was UK Demons. A brilliant drive from yourself. Started P13, went for the hard compound tyres to start the race. It was a brilliant first stint from yourself. And then, well, you got the reward of being able to go onto the softs at the end, managed to gain a few more positions and take a podium. So mega job from you, and just talk us through your race.
Yeah, cheers, guys. I'm absolutely exhausted after that, to be honest. Fantastic race to be part of. Brilliant track for myself. Like I normally like that track. So yeah, I'm glad I got the podium. Congratulations to Gareth. Fantastic race to get through that without a penalty, and well done to Jester as well. Fantastic. Yeah, it was a mental race, really. I mean, I had a little side by side with Neelix. I'm not entirely sure what happened to him after that. Hopefully, it's not gone too bad for him, but it was just one of them. But after that, just head down, and yeah, I knew I was going to catch him up at the end with the softs, but it was just a case of whether I had enough tyre left at the end. But the guys are so good at defending, and they've got so much pace. It was always going to be tough, but I'm more than happy with the third. It was fantastic. So yeah, cheers.
Yeah, brilliant job. Driver of the day as well, I think. As we kind of forgot to ask, but you had a vote or two, I think, from people who just did it without us asking. So we'll go to Jester then. Brilliant lap in qualifying to take pole. And then the race, it was going so well. I mean, you led the vast majority of the race. Oh man, that must be pretty hard to take, just losing out by just over a tenth. Yeah, I mean, I guess talk us through it, but I'm sure you'll be feeling perhaps a little bit down after that one.
Happy and sad. I thought deja vu was going to happen the same as last year with the penalties. Ranka finished on the podium and then ended up in fourth or fifth with Gareth winning. So I knew he was just sitting behind us with the 3-second penalties, just biding his time. I wasn't expecting Demons to come back at that at the end. Once I seen Dodgy get a penalty, I sort of felt relieved a bit. And I haven't been so tense racing ages, but cheeks have been clenched the whole way around, trying to go. But yeah, well done, Demons. That was a hell of a drive to come up and get third there. I think it was like half a second in the end. So yeah, a good race. Happy to get second. Worry about the 3-second penalty, but there you go.
Yeah, like you say, good result nevertheless. P2, 18 points, and I believe championship lead as well now. So yeah, brilliant effort from you. Take the lead of the championship off of your teammate. So maybe as the season progresses, that might get a bit spicy. I
was hoping he would have been a bit further up the grid in the end, but sure.
Yeah,
for the joint constructors, but
yeah, it was a shame for Hypers, definitely. This evening. Yeah. So we'll move on then finally to race winner here this evening. SLR Gareth, back-to-back wins in Austria for you. A brilliantly managed race, no penalties, and yeah, just managing the gaps and making sure you're sticking with the guys that you need to stick with. And then yeah, right at the end, getting past Dodgy when he got his puncture. I'm not sure entirely what your tyres were like, but did that make you a bit nervous at the end when you saw Dodgy getting the puncture?
No, like tyre wear was really good around there. I mean, I could have even taken a soft another lap, but then you worry about hitting that cliff. I didn't even know he had a puncture, to be fair. We just come out of the one corner and he had no gas, and I drove straight into the back, and I was like, oh, what's going on there? So just got around him. Luckily, I didn't pick up too much damage. And yeah, again, that was always the strat, was set the car up so it was reasonably placed, but you know, it was always going to be planted, keep the penalties down, and just have a look and see if we could keep the penalties to 0, which we did. Again, that was the master plan. But these boys are so quick. I mean, it is hard, and you're constantly pushing to stay with them. But that's the fun of racing. And again, it's not the best way to take a win or a podium or whatever. But racing's racing, and it's part of the strategy.
The quickest time.
Yeah, it's just strategy. And like I did put it in the general chat that was the plan, was just to keep the penalties low and see where we go.
Yeah, brilliant effort, and 25 points brings you well and truly into the championship fight that you're already somewhat in, having said that. But yeah, brilliant result. Britain next week, how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, Britain is one of my strongest tracks, or potentially it was, until last season when I didn't get off the lights properly and there was a whole lot of wanting to wave to the crowd. It's never been good, but I got a decent pit crew again this year. I was lucky to have a decent pit crew last year, but this year they've been really good and keeping me calm and everything else. And a lot of today's performance went out to them as well, because they were talking me through where everybody was, what they were doing, and that makes such a big difference when you've got people around you that are just in the zone and letting you know, and just keeping you calm. So yeah, hopefully Britain will have a better outcome, and we'll get off the line this time.
Yeah, nice. I'll hand it back over then to Merckx to finish us off. But yeah, thank you all for your contributions there in the interviews.
Yeah, well done. That's a good stream.
Well done, guys.
Cheers, guys. Well done.
I'd like to hand on my congratulations to you all. Another close finish at Austria, and yeah, Gareth once again manages to usurp a few drivers, and was a close finish. 6/10 covered the top 3.
Oof.
And yeah, Demons was flying at the end, just wasn't enough to get past Jester, and yeah, was just enough for Gareth to get past Crafty in the end. But it's thrown the championship wide open even more, you'd say, with Hypers having an off day. It wasn't really his day, but we know it was Gareth's day in Austria, and it was well, I enjoyed it. It took a while with the lobby restart to happen, but I thoroughly enjoyed that end to the race. It does always happen. Yeah, it was a nice birthday present, and it always happens towards the end in Austria. You need to stay until the checkered flag. We are not done yet, as me and Ham still have to race at Austria tomorrow night at 7 p.m. So if you want to have a watch, feel free to have a look and see how the elite boys tackle the Red Bull Ring. But that is all from us, and it's been a pleasure as always to commentate over Div 3, and a pleasure to commentate with Ham. And yeah, that is all from me. Gareth is on top once again in Austria, and good night.